Soul Calibur has been a part of my life for some time. 22 years ago, I played Soul Edge at a local arcade and fell head over heels in love. It was like no other fighting game I had played before. The dynamic fighting styles, scenery, and overall character design were truly spectacular. Now, here we are in 2018 with possibly one of the most beautiful, fast-paced, and content-stacked fighting titles that I've ever played. Today, we're here to review Soul Calibur VI, so let's dive in. I'd like to discuss the character creation system. As we have seen over the last few years, more companies are implementing character creation systems in their games. Soul Calibur has had character creation before, but not to this extent. Not only can we give our characters their own look and our favorite fighter's playstyle, but we can now also choose a multitude of races, skins, clothes, weapons, and more. This is something we have been able to do in the series before, but now it is a much deeper customization system that lets you change the smallest detail at your will. This is a dramatic improvement from games in the series like Soul Calibur III, which only lets you customize their clothes, height, color of hair, and voice. I spent a good 40 minutes creating my character, although he still looked a little basic. I found myself still making changes as I played. This customization is a great addition to the game and really took a huge role in the newest mode, Libre of Souls. Libre of Souls is a cool concept for the game, but it wasn't really my cup of tea. This mode is pushed as an RPG-style Soul Calibur story, but I couldn't help feel underwhelmed while playing it. Yes, you can create your own character and basically start your own Tale of Souls adventure, but the main amount of the story is all text-based and made me not really care about my character's journey as much as I wanted to. The storytelling aspect is very basic, with run-of-the-mill characters befriending you along your adventure. The dialogue can be repetitive, and I felt like I was doing the same mission over and over again. As you go along, I felt the gameplay cutscenes with my custom character on the forefront helped me get into the story a bit more. Although these cutscenes made the story more interesting, I was still already at that point of not having a connection with my character. As you go along throughout your adventure, you have the freedom to either stay on the main story or explore certain areas. With that comes more challenges and side quests. But eventually, you have to get back onto the main story for the most fulfillment. You can always choose your own path, either good or evil, which can somewhat change the story, as in other RPG titles. If you are an old-school RPG player, I would feel that you would really respect this mode, but me particularly, I couldn't get into this mode as much as I did the Chronicle of Souls. Chronicle of Souls is the main story mode in Soul Calibur VI. This is probably the most detailed story mode for a fighting game I've ever played. This is basically a relaunch of the Soul Calibur story dating back to even before Soul Edge. We not only see the main story that features Keelik, but we also get a chance to stop at any point in time and play side stories with the whole roster. Doing this adds so much depth to the main story. I've truly felt at some point in times a little overwhelmed, but in a good way. I decided to do one main mission, then go down the list and do a mission for each side quest story of each roster character at the same time in the timeline. I felt it really helped me keep the story all together with all the different characters and make me understand the new relaunch story a bit easier. The coolest thing about the side missions was seeing the character's backstory come to life, but also seeing the timeline from their perspective. The overall content shoved into this mode, and even Libre of Souls, yes, the mode that I didn't like much, really shows how much Bandai Namco cares about their fans. It also gives you a reason to replay the story when more characters come out in the DLC. I was a huge fan of the story mode in Mortal Kombat X and Injustice because of the cinematic storyline, but the story of Chronicles of Souls is everything that I've ever wanted in a fighting game story mode. The graphical presentation in this game is a jaw-dropping experience in itself. This is the first Soul Calibur to ever use the Unreal Engine, and it has definitely paid off. The series has always looked amazing, but Soul Calibur VI feels like a stage of history is in my living room. Clear and beautiful backdrop stages, no screen lag, extremely colorful and unique character design. I am honestly just floored by how good this game looks. Modes like Museum and Versus have been in the series for some time, so we knew that they would make their return. But the one thing that really stood out to me was the roster. There were 20 characters out of the box, with 2 new characters, Grow and Aswell. There was also one pretty special guest character, and that's the Witcher himself, Geralt of Rivia. This roster placement feels perfect for the style of game that Soul Calibur VI is. With Geralt being a monster-slaying witch hunter, his supernatural abilities, intuition, and mastery of the sword make him the perfect guest for Soul Calibur VI. I would actually love to see him as a regular character on the roster from now on, because he meshes so well with the overall style of the story. I was somewhat disappointed with the online feature, and there is a good reason. The last few days during my playtime, the network mode was pretty barren. There was a few matches I was able to hop into, but the main people I fought against were in the European regions and had very poor connection. Another reason why I didn't play much of this mode was mainly because the wait time. I found myself waiting around for 20 minutes just to get into a match, but that is also because this is an early review copy of the game and not that many people were on the servers yet. I will say it needed a bit more stability online, but Bandai Namco had already addressed that in the press release and stated that there was going to be a day 1 patch to help that situation at hand. Lastly, I would like to take a quick moment and talk about the combat. This is literally the easiest that I've ever picked up a fighting game in the history of me playing fighting games. The moveset and overall combat is the same as it always has been, and that's a really good thing. Critical Edge is back, but this time we have a new addition to the Edge system, Reversal Edge. This is a new parry system in the game, and it really comes in handy when the heat of battle is afoot. When you hold and release the right bumper, you have a slowdown sequence that activates, giving you a few seconds to do a heavy attack, light attack, block, or even a dodge. I found this addition not only to be useful, but fun as hell when you're playing friends. There's nothing better than a perfect time combo with a reversal edge and a critical edge at the end. Overall, I have to say everything about this game has truly stunned me. I have been playing Soul Calibur for many years, and I've been a fan since I was very young. I have to say, this baby takes the cake. This is by far one of the best fighting games that I have ever played, and I am confident enough to say the best in the series. Not only do we get 2 story modes, an online mode, a versus mode, and much more, we got probably some of the best visuals and music I've experienced in some time. Over the next few months, as DLC characters release, we'll return to talk about more of this title. But until then, don't pass this baby up. Go and buy it now. My name is Celeb for Second Opinion Productions and Cinelinx, and I am giving Soul Calibur VI a 4.8 out of 5. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.